commence our program on a spiritual note, I invite Mrs. K.R. Srilata, Organizing Secretary, to lead us with a prayer song.
Gauri Nandana Prathama Vandana Prathama Vandana Prathama Vandana Gauri Nandana.
Thank you, Lisa. To begin with, I request Dr. Suresh's Coordinator IQAC to introduce and extend a warm welcome to our distinguished guests of this valedictory session.
A very good afternoon, a warm welcome to all dignitaries on the dais, of the dais and media persons. We are on the verge of successful completion of a two-day international conference. I feel honored and privileged to get the opportunity to welcome you all and introduce the guests at this valedictory session of a two-day international conference on English language Amidst Kannadigas, organized by the Government of English, IPAC of STEM College Manawar, and Kannadigas University Academic Forum of English Teachers. First of all, I would like to introduce the chief guest and valedictory speaker. It's a big challenge for me to introduce today's valedictory session speaker, a renowned educationist, great researcher, Dr. Kannadigas, Professor and Chairman, Department of PG Studies and Research, Kannadigas State Valedictory, Women's University, Bijapur. He has completed his BA in English at Bishop Ever College, Tirchi in 1987 and his MA in English from Kannadigas University, Dharwad in 1989. He completed his MPhil from Madras Christian College, Madras in 1990. Completed 3 PG diploma courses, one at Hyderabad and other 2 at Kannadigas State Open University, Mysore. He completed his PhD at Kannadigas University, Dharwad in 2006. To his credit, there are 30 articles published in reputed national and international journals. He has presented and participated in 26 research articles in national and international conferences and seminars. He has organized 10 national and international conferences and seminars, guided 17 PhD students and 6 MPhil students. He has served as NSS officer for 3 years, NCC officer for 4 years, Chairman Department of English 10 years, Dean Faculty of Arts 2 terms, Board of Study Chairman 10 years, Board of Examiners Chairman 10 years, Member Syndicate 2 years, Director and Director Regional Center and Director Dr. C.R. Ambedkar Studies, Karnataka State Accommodative Women's University, Bijapur. As an administrator, he served as Registrar Valedictory University, Registrar Government University, Shumaga, Registrar Evaluation Government University, Shumaga, and presently he is working as Senior Professor and Chairman Department of PG Studies and Research in English, Karnataka State Accommodative Women's University, Bijapur. With this introduction, I am presenting a multi-talented Dr. P. Kannadigas to this august gathering and on behalf of organizers, I feel privileged to introduce the guest of honor and the Joint Secretary of our MP Society, Shri Gajanan Parmeshwar Hegde. He was born and brought up in Kumta. He is a past student of the high school and Kannadigas College, Kumta. His background is rather high and the couples are blessed with 2 daughters, Shweta and Shruti. Retired as Associate Professor, HOD and Vice Principal of our college. Active member of Rotary Club of Manawar, authorized 2 global grant projects as Director of International Service in Rotary Club Manawar. Worked as Secretary, the President and Director of Rotary Club of Manawar. Master Facilitator in Leadership and Human Resource Development, Facilitator Certificate in Executive Leadership. Honorary Councillor of India, Institute of Company Secretary of India, Honorary Joint Secretary of MP Society, Manawar. With this brief introduction, on behalf of organizer, I welcome you, sir. would like to introduce the guest of honor and my student friend, Sri Sandeep Hegde. Sandeep is an alumnus of STM College, Kannadigas, an entrepreneur and the trustee of Kannadigas Foundation. Sandeep started his first company, .com, while pursuing second year of engineering in Valedictory. He was a community manager for Google Developers Group and visiting faculty at Kirloskar Institute of Management. Next, he worked as head of growth at Bunty App and then at Canvas JS. Further, he founded Aleka County, a heritage day at Kannadigas. He currently works as independent consultant, advising startups on product growth, marketing, and monetization. He has honored with Student Entrepreneur Award from TIE in 2009. He was featured in Wall Street Journal, Reddit, Times of India, Indian Express, Your Story, and many more. With this brief introduction, I welcome you, Sandeep, for the valedictory concert. I feel honored to welcome our own colleague and our principal, Dr. D.L. Hebron, the president of this function. On behalf of the organizer, I would like to welcome my friend, Dr. M.M. Hegde, coordinator of principal program and the president of Kannadigas University Academic Forum of English. On behalf of the organizer, I would like to welcome Dr. M.M. Hegde, the president of Kannadigas University Academic Forum of English. On behalf of the organizer, I extend a warm welcome to Mr. Ms. Kannadigas, organizing secretary of JC College. I would like to welcome all the honorable members of my society who are present here. I would like to extend a warm welcome to all the office bearers and honorable members of Kannadigas University Academic Forum of English. On behalf of the organizer, I would like to welcome all invitees, the delegates, legal persons and chairpersons from various colleges, the teaching and non-teaching staff of our college, and my dear students. On behalf of the organizer, I would like to welcome the media persons who are present here. Once again, I welcome you all. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, and I welcome you too. May I now request Dr. G.N. Vice Principal and Head of the Department of Geography to offer floral welcome to our esteemed guests on the dais. Thank you, Dr. J. May I now request Mr. Keshav P., Associate Professor, to kindly give feedback on behalf of all the delegates.
What a delicious dish of delight for us for these couple of days. Really, certainly a very fruitful seminar. Also, I would like to categorically say that we have to think, we have to make retrospection as to how far we have traveled in the profession of teaching. Really, it is with great admiration, great appreciation, and that I extend my heartfelt compliments to the esteemed principal of this college, Dr. Rebasa, the head of the department, Dr. L.J. sir, and the entire staff of STM college for organizing a highly successful and enlightening two-day international conference on English language and especially Yekshagana, Bharatanatyam, and those other songs. The conference has brought together renowned scholars, innovative innovators, and experts, both offline and online, providing a unique platform for knowledge sharing, discussion, and networking. I like to chant all these here who have enlightened us, Dr. V. Kannan sir, M.T. sir, Lokesh sir, Dr. K. sir, and all others, many more have expanded the frontier of our knowledge and finance exposure and experience. Being man expert, teaching excellence is a way of life. So when we go back to all this, we certainly share our ideas what we have accumulated here. Really, the conference has not affected. I rather chant all the institutional resources, persons, and then all of them have expanded our knowledge and our problems and prospects of both the languages, friends, the meticulous planning, impeccable organization, and warm hospitality extended to the delegates and guests are really commendable. Even accommodation was cozy and comfortable, and then we of course saw the Tandra mine roofs. We visited it and the silver surrounding imaging impressions. So really have in fact they are all imaginative impressions for us. So we can't forget the amiability and amicability of the staff here. As is said, coming together is meaning, keeping together is progress, working together is success. On behalf of all the delegates, sincere appreciation for all your tireless efforts, dedication and passion for promoting linguistic and cultural diversity. I am happy to say that in 2006 I applied here and I was called for interview, and SNA was sir, yes, Karki was there sir, and MP Karki was there and who interviewed us. I got selected and they sent me an appointment order, and of course I could not join due to some personal reasons. So I have a lot of affinity towards this college. Once again, congratulations. Thank you for a memorable, impeccable, and enchanting, enriching experience. So before I conclude, I would like to quote: "He who knows not and knows not that he knows not is a fool, shun him. He who knows not and knows that he knows not is a student, teach him. He who knows not, he who knows and knows that he knows, he who knows and knows not that he knows is asleep, wake him. He who knows and knows that he knows is wise, follow him." Thank you one and all.
Thank you, Mr. Keshav. I now request Mr. Deepse Ugra to present his reaction towards this two-day international conference.
May the lotuses blossom. It goes without saying that a two-day international conference of this college, esteemed college Kannadigas, is a grand success. I congratulate the coordinator, the principal, and all the staff members of this college for having successfully completed two-day international conference, and all the dignitaries on the dais, and my revered teachers and learned colleagues. Yesterday it was a wonderful day, as it is today. We had a wonderful keynote address by MJ, and I really loved what you call anybody has enjoyed it the most, it's me. And I wanted it to continue for another session, but it could not due to time restrictions. And all the delegates, plenary speakers spoke well. They presented their views beautifully, and the way conference has designed has a scientific reason in itself, because we have 7 plenary sessions. 7 is the number of completeness according to Babylonian mathematicians. That is why we have got all numbers coming 7 continents, 7 colors in the rainbow, 7 wonders of the world, 7 steps around the holy fire, 7 lives. Everything comes in 7 because number 7 is the number of completeness according to Babylonian mathematicians. For Indians, it's number 18 is number of completeness. That's why we have got 18 chapters in Gita, 18 days battle in Kurukshetra, and 18 steps to Ayappa, because number 18 is the number of 18. 18 is the number of completeness for us. And for this, I congratulate Dr. M.G. Hegde, my bosom friend, for having invited and designed it beautifully, and he has set a model. He has set a model for all other teachers. And as I was talking to my friends and my teachers, that we should gather at least once in 3 months in one or the other colleges. We will exchange ideas, we will discuss books, we will discuss issues, and we will have a wonderful time as we had today. And I especially congratulate the students, particularly science students. I congratulate, because I observed when I was sitting over there that the science students were presenting their papers, and I really love science students coming forward for English seminars, because English language will definitely add a new feather in their cap. As I was reading a great astrophysicist called Stephen Hawking, and when you read his book, A Brief History of Time, it is described as one of the greatest sold and least read book in the world, as Times of India describes Stephen Hawking's A Brief History of Time. There, in one of the interviews, Stephen Hawking has said that though he did not believe in the existence of God, he read the Bible. Why did he read Bible? Because in Bible, he read Bible to understand, to know how to begin a sentence with "and." That is why he read Bible. Okay, and it has been a wonderful time, and a time spent with love and affection is seldom forgotten. And definitely, Honavar, the people of Honavar, the beautiful people of Honavar, will go down in my memory lane as one of the greatest days of my life, and it's well spent. Now I'm anxiously and desperately waiting for Professor Kannan, and one of the many reasons why I came to this particular conference, I really wanted to listen to Professor Kannan, because I have not listened to him in a long time. And yesterday I had a wonderful discussion with Professor Kannan, Professor N.H. and my teacher came late today morning. And madam, I'm sorry, this is my maiden attempt to speak in your presence. I never spoke in your presence. And okay, and you will really excuse me for my audacity. Okay, I must say. Okay, I stand before you as a humble and contrite student, with the word contrite inverted and underlined. Okay, and thank you Honavar, thank you STM Police, thank you Professor M.J. Hegde for having invited, and I congratulate the principal of this college. Oh, I was saying that, these people speak such an impeccable English that even most of the English teachers don't. That's what I said yesterday. A high standards should become a common. A high standard of English should become common. And I thank all these beautiful people. Okay, and I really enjoyed your local delicacy. Okay, and yesterday I was in high spirit. Okay, as of today. And thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Bhimsen, for your reactions added into the double inverted comma.
May I now request Dr. P. Kannadigas, Professor and Chairman, Department of PG Studies and Research, KSWU, Bijapur, to deliver the valedictory address.
Om Mani Padmaya. Ladies and gentlemen, SDM College, Kannadigas is the mother of my employment. It is in this college I was selected as a lecturer in English by the government of Karnataka in 1989 and was transferred from here without my joining here to MGC College, Siddhapur in 1993. Siddhapur is my another mother of my career because it was in MGC College I was given a shape as a teacher of English by two important persons in MGC College. One was Professor V.S. Hegde, who treated me like his own brother, and Professor T.K. Dixit, though he was a professor of economics. His English used to be more appealing than the English language of many teachers of English. As a custom, I would like to make an overview of the sessions during yesterday and today in the two-day international seminar held here. In the keynote address, the keynote speaker categorically claimed that Kannada is not just a language, but it is the identity of the people who are Kannadigas, whose mother tongue is Kannada. He also highlighted that the strength of Kannada lies not in Kannada language, but in the speakers of Kannada, whose confidence is very much required for the sustenance of this language. He also went on to add that Kannada is the language of dignity and self-respect for Kannadigas. He rather initiated the forthcoming discussions the people of the world through media. It was followed by another plenary address by Dr. Sridhar Valedictory. He redefined translation. For him, change from one thing to another is also translation. He also felt that Mahale's lyrics had a hidden agenda of converting Indians into English culture in general and into Christianity as much as possible. This was followed by Dr. Vaishali's address on translation and transcreation, crafting meaning across languages. Professor Vaishali is a translator herself. She explained crafting meaning across various languages by using her own experience of translating an English version of a Turkish novel into Kannada. This is something which is very much relevant to the theme of this international conference. She was followed by Dr. Kannadigas, who delivered his plenary speech from London. He focused on the use of English for Indian diaspora elsewhere in general and in England in particular. He highlighted the importance of being competent in English language to be successful in the career of diaspora in England. At the same time, he also reminded all of us by quoting his own experience of following the conventions, traditions, and cultural practices of Kannadiga in England. His plenary address was followed by a plenary speech by Mr. Valedictory AG, who spoke on media and linguistic cauldron. He used this cauldron as a metaphor in the field of journalism, both print media and visual media. He was explaining why standard Kannada is used in the print medium to avoid confusion and ambiguities, even though there are several regional and caste dialects in Karnataka. He was saying that this confining himself or herself to only one language or one dialect of any language, which will not serve the purpose of reaching the news to the mass. This is how several plenary speakers touched the English language, not amidst, among Kannadigas, and Kannadigas amidst several Englishes. In my valedictory address, I would like to highlight the status of English language at the world level, without which talking about importance of English among anybody will be incomplete. After highlighting the importance of English or status of English in the world, we need to understand English in India in general before we come to see English among Kannadigas. Karnataka is very much in India, and what happened to the other languages by English has happened to Kannada also. More or less a similar kind of impact. We need to understand the impact of English on other languages at the national level. And before I talk about English among the Kannadigas, I also want to showcase Kannadigas among several other languages within Karnataka. By knowing this, we will try to understand that Kannada has been existing since time immemorial, along with so many other languages, before the arrival of English here in Karnataka. English is one of the languages in 13 international organizations. English is the first language in 67 countries. English is the second language in 55 countries, including India. There are 29 varieties of Pidgin English with 5 million people using it. There are 42 varieties of Creole English with 76.5 million people across the world. In India, English has produced many offsprings like Butler English, Babu English, Boxwala English, Broken English, Kitchen English, Burger English, Chichi English, and English along with the regional languages like Tanglish, Malayalam English, Tanglish, English, Benglish. English English very quickly. English spread across the country. English was not just a means of communication, it was also a means of culture. Culture does not confine itself only to the mother tongue. Culture is very dynamic. And culture keeps on progressing. All of us know that we celebrate the birthdays of our children in English way. We celebrate our wedding anniversary in the English way. We hold parties in English way. We receive guests in an English way. We bid farewell to our friends and the relatives in English way. If culture does not mean all these things, then English is not the language of culture in India. In other words, we use our mother tongue and another inevitable language, English, in our cultural practices also. If we say no, we are liars. I would like to explain the evolution of any language, impact of any language on any other language. In a cyclic diagram called purity, hybridity, and variety. As soon as a language is developed, as soon as a language is emerged as being independent, the followers of that language begin to worry about its purity. They want to preserve the purity of language from the influence, impact of other languages. English is not an exception. 25% of English words are original English words. Remaining 70% of words have come from foreign languages. Then they started claiming English as homogeneous language, and they wanted to preserve the purity of English. It was already adulterated. As Professor Valedictory said, there was a process of assimilation, there was a process of naturalization, and there was a process of anglicization. Words from foreign languages are no longer foreign words. French could not claim this phrase itself lingua franca as mere term. It's anglicized already. Latin words are anglicized. They have become English. They are no longer Latin. And they wanted to preserve this by saying their English is Queen's English. The phrases, the expressions, the syntax, the intonation should be as prescribed by the native speakers of English. If you see YouTube journals, YouTube channels, they will teach you native speakers English. In other words, pure English. And Salman Rushdie came and he said, ladies and ladas, like ladka and ladki in Hindi structure. He came and said, ladies and gents, not gentlemen. English phrases cannot be altered according to rule. But he asked, who are you to force me to use English the way in which I want to use it? Like Caliban in Tempest. There are words which are mixture of Hindi, English, Kannada, English, all languages, in literature also. Not in normal conversation. In literature, such expressions are used in the contemporary literature. What we need to understand here is that those languages which wanted to protect their purity, like Latin, Greek, let us remember Sumerian is the oldest language. Sumerian was the oldest language. It was older than Greek Latin, but it is said it is not older than Sanskrit. Sumerian is a language in which literature was produced. And there was a rich representation of culture in that language. But where is Sumerian today? Where is Greek today? Where is Latin today? Because they wanted to be pure. Following the principle of purity, as far as the language is concerned, will cause extinction. In other words, English would survive. Now there are more than 1 million words in English. This is almost 10 years past statistics. There are more than 1 million words because of this adaptability. Because of this assimilating character. They took words from elsewhere, naturalized them, made them their own words. And that is how English is able to survive people left Tamil, they started using some other language. In South India, these languages remained. They must have originated from one language and they are varieties now. Hybridity is inevitable. Nothing is free from hybridity. Your fruit is hybrid. Your dress is hybrid. Your water is hybrid. Your air is hybrid. Everything has become hybrid. Hybridity is a natural process of the evolution of language. Kannada is not an exception. Kannada has now grown into a hybrid language. Let us take Karnataka state. This is the most unique state, I would say, not only in India, in the world. Go to Bihar, Kannada, Urdu, Marathi, Telugu mixed. Bihar Kannada is a mixture of Kannada and Urdu. Come down. Come to Bijapur. Come to Belgaum. Come to Dharwad. Kannada and Marathi. They are mixed there. Move this side. Go to Mangalore. If you pass Bhatkal, Udupi, then Tulu starts. And we have heard a mentioning Tulu Nadu. Karnataka itself is a state, and there is a kind of statement Tulu Nadu. Where is Tulu Nadu? Tulu Nadu is in Karnataka, Karinadu. Go a little further, Mangalore, Malayalam, mixed. Come this side, Karwar, Siddhapur, Sirsi, Konkani and Kannada mix. Move further, Bellary, Telugu and Kannada. Go to Shimoga, Tamil Kannada. Go to Mysore, Tamil Kannada. Go to Bangalore, Kannada, Tamil, Telugu, all languages are mixed. There is no single district in our state where Kannada alone is used. You cannot find such a unique situation in Andhra Pradesh, in Tamil Nadu. In Tiruchirappalli, you hear only Tamil, then other than Tamil, English. Because in Tamil Nadu, two language system, they study Tamil and then English. There will not be any other languages in Tiruchirappalli at all. In Madurai, in Tanjavur. Chennai, you have some influence of North Indians putting some shops there. Hindi is used there. And all of you know that Hindi is never accepted in Tamil Nadu at all. Those who are speaking Hindi are from North India. These are the languages with which Kannada is living together. Tulu and Kannada, Konkani and Kannada, Marathi and Kannada, Telugu and Kannada, Tamil and Kannada have been together. If Tulu could not kill Kannada, if Telugu could not kill Kannada, if Marathi could not kill Kannada, how could English kill Kannada? How is it possible for any foreign language to kill Kannada? In other words, Kannada and English will live together. In other words, how to perceive this hybridity? Hybridity should not be mistaken for adulteration. Adulteration is not acceptable in civil society. We don't like adulteration. But hybridity should be seen as a variety. ಬಿಸಿ ಆಯಿತು ಬಿಜಾಪುರಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಯಾರು ತರ್ತಾರೆ? ಈಗ ಪದೇ ಪದೇ ಎಂದದಲ್ಲ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬಿಜಾಪುರ ಮಾತಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಯಾರು ತರ್ತಾರೆ? Now all these dialects have existed here. Let English Kannada combination remain as a dialect, as a variety. By allowing Konglish to remain as a variety, we are doing great service to Kannada, because Kannada will survive. English Kannada variety will survive on its own. All of us know where we speak Konglish, where we speak Kannada, where we speak English. In journalism, standard Kannada, standard English has to be used. In formal function like this, we cannot use informal English. We cannot use colloquial English. This is a very ordinary common sense for all of us to know. Then why should we confuse about this English is not like this English is not like that, this Kannada is not like that? Many of them mentioned that learning Kannada, learning English for students of Karnataka, Kannadigas, is difficult. Please remember, English is introduced from standard 1, class 1. We study English in one form, in one length or the other, almost for 15 years. 10 years, 10 plus 2 plus 3, for 15 years we are with English language in some form or the other. What is required to write and speak in English? What is required? To write poetry, you need rhyme, you need rhythm, you need figures of speech, you need metaphor. To write as simple as possible, to speak as simple as possible, do you require 15 years? We are talking about skills. Who learns Bharatanatyam for 15 years? Who learns classical music for 15 years? Do we practice Bharatanatyam all 24 hours? We go to the Bharatanatyam class, we attend for 1 hour, we may practice for 1 hour at home. By practice for 2 hours a day, we are able to become very good Bharatanatyam dancers. And we are in touch with the English language for 15 years, for not less than 2 hours a day. Then why there should be fear of English? We learn Kannada, spoken Kannada at home, but written Kannada, where do we learn? We learn from the school, along with English. Basic Kannada is also one paper, basic English is also one paper. But we are able to learn Kannada, not because it's mother tongue. The problem arises by using the rhetoric called mother tongue. The moment we say mother, that becomes supreme for us. What is the definition of mother tongue? The definition of mother tongue is, it is that language to which a child is exposed at the earliest stage. Somebody was helping me to go to guest house and come back, and he was speaking in some language. I asked him, what language is this? Sir, Konkani, my mother tongue. Somebody told me, Konkani, mother tongue, and he is in Honnavar. When he is able to cope up with Konkani, Kannada, English, why are we not able to accept this language, which is the language of food? We have admitted that English is the language language of our food. We have to think about it. That is why, whenever there is a mixture, whenever there is hybridity, let us not feel offended that our purity is spoiled. Let us feel that it is another variety and we have another variety to communicate. We have one more variety to communicate. It is left to us to choose whichever variety we want. I am a Tamilian. My children are born in Siddhapur. They studied Hindi in school. When all my three daughters are talking, I don't know which language they are speaking. In one sentence, Kannada, Hindi, then local Kannada, Hindi, and they also use the Tamil language. It's a mixture. All the three of them are speaking and laughing. I am only weeping. Because they are brought up. Please remember and go and tell your students, a child, just born child, is capable of learning 3 languages at least. A small child has got the capacity to learn 3 languages. For them, learning Kannada is not very difficult. Learning English should not also be difficult for them. Therefore, English among Kannadigas should be seen as an advantage. It's impossible for any foreign language to kill the native language. Because native language is the language which we use during the 90% of our activities. Any other combination is a combination which we perform outside our society, outside our community, outside our family. Therefore, nothing will happen to Kannada language. Kannada has survived. Kannada will survive even if a number of languages come here. With these few words, I thank the organizers of this 2-day international conference for inviting me to SDM College, where I should have stayed, and by now I have been head of the department of English. It's homecoming for me. I also thank all of you for your patient hearing. Thank you very much.
Rightly said, Mr. Wilson. Insightful words of Dr. Kannan have undoubtedly inspired us. Thank you, Dr. Wilson. These many days I was knowing only English, but today I came to know that there is even Tanglish, Manglish, Manglish, and many other existing in India.
May I now request Sri G.P. Hegde, retired professor and joint secretary at Peace Society, Honapur, to address the gathering.
Respected dignitaries on the dais, off the dais, all invitees, delegates, participants, media friends. When coordinator Dr. M.P. Agri asked me to speak, I inquired for how many minutes I have to speak, because I too retired as a professor, and what happens, you know, to the professors. So he said diplomatically, you know, sir, he did not mention the time. See how diplomatic he is. You know, sir, he simply said, but I should understand my responsibility, and I know this is the time to depart for most of you from here to your home, so I should not take much of your time. Therefore, I have switched on the timer, and my intention is to speak for only 10 minutes. down like Ganges from Himalayas. So cool and spontaneous. Really, I appreciate the knowledge, the presentation style, the body language, the voice power. In fact, that is very important to the teachers. And having said that, and after listening to you for more than half an hour, I believe, the time actually stood still. The watch started running after he left the mic. So it was. Actually, I am very humble in front of the stalwarts like you. I am not an English teacher. I am a humdrum commerce teacher, not an English teacher. So whatever I say hereafter need not be taken as the idea of an expert. It's only an idea given by a layman. Okay, sir? Right. So, actually, I wanted to speak about a thing which our management, because I am representing the management here, MP Society, they told me to reveal certain truth about MP Society in front of the audience who may be coming from outside or not. The secret is to be revealed to you in next 2 minutes, and you will carry that secret to your home and destination, school or college, and you will open it. Right? That is MP Society. Came into existence in 1964. Has established 4 esteemed education institutions in 50 acres campus here. We are providing education from LKG to PG and beyond. We have nursery classes up to 10th standard in our central school. We have UC, arts, science, commerce with coaching free of charge for NEET, CET and JEE. We have degree college, STM degree college, where you find BA, BSc, BCom, BBA and now BCA in the last fourth year, mostly BCA, 4th year completed. And we have PG Center, MCom, MSc, and now we have added this year MCA. MCA we were compelled to add because of the public demand. In the North Canada, this is the only one MCA having Kannadigas University affiliation with the recognition of AICTE. We have a ladies' hostel with 120 capacity, a playground which is the only second in the Kannadigas University area. The first one was established in KC Dharwad, and this is the second one, which is scientifically built. Most scientifically built. the topic, I am highly impressed on the opening speech that is rendered by, keynote speech rendered by Dr. M.T. Hegde yesterday. The title, the theme of the conference, English language amidst Kannadigas, or Kannadigas amidst English language. ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಪದ್ಯ ನೆನಪಿಗೆ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ನೀ ಮಾಯೆಯೊಳಗೋ ನಿನ್ನೋಳು ಮಾಯಿನಿ. ನೀ ಮಾಯೆಯೊಳಗೋ ನಿನ್ನೋಳು ಮಾಯಿನಿ. We are in confusion whether we are amidst English or English is amidst us. And I can tell you very frankly, most of you may not agree, we are surrounded by English. We are enclosed by English. To give you an instance, Kannadigas is a small town of 25,000 population, a rural town. There are more than 4 English medium schools here. And they have maximum number of attendance, that is admissions. In the rural places in Kannadigas, very rural places, having very less than 1,000, 1,500 population, there are 5 English medium schools or hospitals. The parents, rather than the children, as you know, they are after English. They not only want their children to learn English language, but also they want their children to learn all other subjects, mathematics, science, social studies, everything in English. This is the trend. Leave alone Bangalore and like cities. In rural places like Kannadigas, this is a serious issue that should be thought. Some action should be taken not by English teachers. Of course, all of us English teachers, all of you are basically Kannadigas. In spite of that, Kannadigas. So this title, according to me, gives scope to Kannada department to hold another conference of say state level or whatever it is, almost on the same subject, that is English, Kannadigas amidst English. If that is done, yesterday actually I read an article in Udayavan written by a prominent person, I don't want to name. The title was Kannada Anna Needuva Bhasheyagabeku. The title was Kannada Anna Needuva Bhasheyagabeku. Yesterday's Udayavan front page. What he wants to say? English Anna Needuva Bhasheyagide ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನು ಇಂಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಸಜೆಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರಾ, ಅಥವಾ ಕನ್ನಡ ಭಾಷೆ ಅನ್ನ ನೀಡಲಾರದು ಇಲ್ಲಿಯವರೆಗೆ, ಇದರದ್ದು ಇಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ failed in giving employment, Anna means employment, to the people, ಅಂತ ಅವರು ಸಜೆಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರಾ? I don't know. But all Kannadigas have to think seriously whether it is English only that gives employment or Kannada is also capable of giving employment. If the first one is true, if English alone is necessary to get employment, what about Japan? What about Germany? What about China? What about number I would like to add to your knowledge. Some you will be knowing, but for me it was new, so I thought I can share this. English letters are more used than English language world over. World over, English letters are more used than English language. In Germany, for example, they use English letters, but they don't speak English. For writing German language, they use English letters, they are not talking English. And the wonder is, in most of the countries that I traveled, I found some peculiar things. In Malaysia, for example, bus they say spelling is B-A-S, not B-U-S. Based on phonetics, I think B-A-S, bus. City, S-I-T-Y, not C-I. S-I-T-Y. Contractor, K-O-N, not C-O-N. K-O-N. So likewise I can give the examples. So English is different in different countries. Even in Malaysia, they use English letters more, speak less English. They speak English of course, but compared to the use of letters, they speak less English. So what I feel honestly is, you can, as you said, English and other words, we can modify English. You need not adhere to the same grammatical and phonetic rules of English. You can modify. Examples are there. Examples are there. And we have to make our own regional language stronger and stronger with the cooperation of all the friends in English department. With the cooperation of all the friends in English department. How to make Kannada stronger. Please come on. Professor N.G. Agade is here. Arrange a seminar. I will also participate. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Now it's a time to honor our guest, Mr. Sandeep Hende. Felicitation is inspiration to others and motivation to whom you are felicitating. May I request Shri G.P. Hegde, Joint Secretary, AP Society of Nagaur, to felicitate Mr. Sandeep Hegde, and I request all the dignitaries on the case to join him. Thank you, Mr. Sandeep Hegde, for accepting our felicitation, as well as all the dignitaries on the dais for doing the honor. Now it's time to hear Mr. to share his valuable opinions.
A very good evening to all dignitaries on the list and all attendees. I know you are all waiting to go home, but I will also take a few minutes and I will bring up the keyword in between English and Kannada, which is language. So, what is language supposed to do? We are supposed to communicate using language, and like Devan sir said, humans are social animals, right? Everyone is sleepy or? So, what are we doing to the society with this language? And a professor from Belgaum said that, I was listening to the last session, said that we are limited only to classrooms, and most of you here are professors or students. So, why do you think that you are limited only to the classroom today? Isn't there an opportunity to go beyond classrooms? It could be simple things. I see a lot of talents today, even when we recruit for jobs, for example, right? So, if you ask simple questions, like students are not able to answer them, communicate they may write an essay in the classroom, but when you ask for a screening question in interview, they are not able to answer them. What can you do in the classrooms to improve those kind of communication? Like, what can you do to do communication beyond classrooms? Any ideas? Anyone has ideas? Or should I suggest? There are simple things around you which you can do. So let's say you got a message from bank saying that, hey, you have to do e-KYC. Right? How many of you got a message from bank to do e-KYC and you have visited bank to go and do a KYC? I have not visited the bank and given my document in last 12 years. There is a procedure from RBI that you can send an email to the branch saying that there is no change in KYC. Are students questioning, or can they write a letter to the bank? Today, as a society, historically, languages have contributed to freedom fighting movements. But today, what are students doing? How can they contribute? Question simple things like this. Let's take another example. I don't know, one of my staff wanted a leave to go and link her LPG to Aadhaar. I went and asked in RTI. It's again a form of communication. You need to learn how to ask questions, either raise a complaint, write a letter to someone, or raise a complaint. I went and put an RTI request. Why is this request for Aadhaar linking being done? I got a response. They write back through a letter again, which is a form of communication, saying that this is required only for PAHAL beneficiaries. PAHAL beneficiaries are the people who are getting subsidized 3 cylinders. And 90% of the citizens today don't get subsidized cylinders. It's paid, like you are paying almost the market price. You are not getting subsidy and there is no requirement to do a KYC. But a person who is not probably educated like us is going in line, standing and doing a KYC today because no one is questioning them. And they are simply following without actually having a requirement, right? Students can do this. Can they write letters to someone? Any department. I'll just give an example, like from our trust, like we have a staff, for example. We have an Eco Beach. I'm sure many of you visited the day before yesterday, right? How many of you visited Eco Beach here? Almost all of you, right? There's a parking space where they charge for parking. And if you see the projects in Uttar Kannada district, sir was also telling, right? So we as a local people have contributed so much from Sharavati Terrace to Karwar Kaiga, and now they want to take Sharavati water back to Bangalore. But what do locals get? So my staff sent and wrote, they were charging for the locals also for parking there. We wrote to the National Director of Blue Flag Beach. Now today if you go and ask, we have asked for them to put a board there. If you go and park there as a local, the parking is supposed to be free for local. That thinking mentality and asking or writing, and then you are communicating what is the problem and giving them, hey, I went to this beach, they were charging me, we have contributed so much as a local, we want to contribute, or we are having so much problems from tourists throwing plastic to everything. Why can't you at least make parking free for the locals? As simple as that, right? So that is a piece of communication. And same thing, there are public grievances system, like including if you see a pothole in the road, there are existing system, like you can figure out who is in charge for that, write to them and say this is a problem, this is a GPS coordinates, which department is in there. Student can write. From CM to PM, you can write a letter today and most probably you will get response from everyone. And letters, like sir said, letters are still valid. You go to a government office, a letter is still given. And unfortunately, not many are writing letters today, either printed letter or digital letters in terms of email, nor any RTI application. So many benefits are there for public, but are we using language for the public good, especially the educated people as a staff? Like someone was saying, we will meet once in 3 months, or you are telling once in 3 months and discuss, right? So these are the opportunities. Like, can students write, like you pick up a day, you meet people, discuss local topics, and can they raise complaints? Like when 100 people write complaints or write letters to someone will notice. Not every bureaucrat is corrupt or anything. I have had hundreds of politicians, bureaucrats. Some are good. And when there is a mass number of letters, many people talking about it, it gets noticed. That's all. Like I will not take more amount of time. And including same thing with the Kannada language also. Today there are rules. Like in the bank, if you go, the bank is supposed to have Kannada. How many of us are asking for the Kannada language forms, right? So if you know English, well and good. Like, but if you also know English and Kannada, think about people who know only Kannada. Ask the bank why there is no Kannada in this, right? So question them, and there are a lot of Kannada activists are doing the same thing. They are asking. It's valid. It's legal, right? You are not asking something wrong. You go and ask. It will help someone else who doesn't know English. And let's say you are calling customer care. Like, simple things. How many of you are calling customer care? Everyone, for some other reason. Press 1 for English, press 2 for Kannada. Select Kannada and talk. It generates employment. Like the more number of everything in the software field gets tracked. There's a data. How many people are requesting to talk in Kannada gets tracked by the company. So you ask, you talk more Kannada, they will recruit more Kannada people. Like if you are selecting one English, you are selecting Hindi, it is Kannadigas who are losing employment there. And the more you talk in Kannada, even in the customer center, they will start recruiting more Kannada people. And that's how the employments for locals also gets generated. Like if locals are not using Kannada and not asking for Kannada, it will not go anywhere. That's all from my side. I just added a bit of social angle to the discussions in terms of languages. Thank you, everyone. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Mr. Sandeep, for your valuable opinions. It's now the time to analyze the outcome of the two-day international conference. I request Rapporteur Professor B.R. Chinagundi, Associate Professor, KLEGT College, Kadam, to present her report. Over to you now.
Good evening, everyone gathered here, the dignitaries and the delegates. My sincere salutations to all. I am Srimati B.R. Chinagundi, is fortunate enough to be present before us for third time as a rapporteur, and I am fortunate enough to be on stage. This 2 days international conference on English language amidst Kannadigas, organized by the Department of English, IKSC, SDM College, in collaboration with KOD English Forum. The topic was very simple and relevant for learning, especially for students who studied English in Kannada medium. The whole scenario for the last 2 days was like a festival. I heard someone telling that environment here made us feel like we are in a close relatives function. On 22nd November 2024, in the morning, we had an academic inauguration with a keynote address by absence of an inaugurator, and in the keynote address, Dr. M.G. Hegde, critic and president of State Syllabus Committee, spoke about the history of English in India. I struck with a quote, in fact a question, he raised in his speech that I have Kannadigas amongst English speakers or English language amidst Kannadigas. What is the reality? He obviously enhanced our knowledge with many keywords like post-colonialism, semantics, diaspora. He congratulated the organizers for choosing this topic, which is a contemporary issue. When we had Sri Krishnamurti Bhatt, President of MP Society, who said that Kannadigas love their language while receiving the benefits from other languages. We have Dr. D.L. Hebsur, principal of this college, who presided over the formal function. We also witnessed felicitation and appreciation for retired professors Sri N.S. Nair, Professor N.S. Hegde, Dr. S.S. Hegde, retired professors from English Department, STM College, Kannada. After a tea break, we gathered for our first session, which was preceded with Srimati Malasia D'Souza with a guest introduction. Dr. Sridhar Balda, story writer and a novelist who highlighted what is translation and what is transcreation. How education system in India, right from Macaulay to post-colonial era, used the language and education translation system to create pen pushers in India. He also focused on how effective translations help us to connect with culture. And obviously, I should refer an eye-opening discussion on stage during this session. And the discussion on stage alarmed us, young professionals like us, to dig more and prove what we read was not enough. The chairperson, Dr. D.B. Gawani, Principal KSS Arts, Commerce, Science, PG Center, Gadar, presided over the session. After a lunch, we had our second session with the speaker, Dr. Sriram Vaidya, physician in London, spoke online about Indian diaspora and English language. He also highlighted why people across India and across the world do migrate. We had Dr. Kamala Bhavre, Principal, CSI College of Commerce, Dharwad, as the chairperson for the session, who presided over the second session. Then the session 3 followed. The session 3 had the discussion on translating and transcreation, crafting meaning across languages. Our resource person, Dr. Vaishali K.S., Department of English, Bangalore University, joined us online, who explained about layers of translations, theory, challenges, and advantages of translation with few examples. Professor N.H., Professor and Chairman, Department of Education, Harvard, was chairperson and presided over the function. Presided over the session. The plenary session 4 was dedicated to panelization. Due to the constraint of the times, and this is also sum it up. We had our plenary session 4, which was dedicated for panel discussion on the topic filling the divide between English literate and illiterate. As panelists, we had HOD, Associate Professor DMC Gadar, Dr. Chaya Kabli, Associate Professor, SJ Yamli, Mahan Arts and Commerce College, Raipur, Sri Bean Singh Ugra, Principal Municipal Arts College, Lakshmishwar, Dr. Pratibha Bhatt, Lecturer DMC Kunta, all four presented their papers. And Dr. Yamji Hegde presided over the plenary session 4. The session 5 was welcomed by Srimati Srilata, Organizing Secretary. Our person for the session 5 was Dr. Sriraj Ahmed, Professor, Department of English, Sahyadri College, Shimoga, which highlighted the impact of modernism, and it was presided over by Dr. Sandhya Kulkarni, Principal, KLS GH College, Haveli. Sorry, it is because of the time alarm given by MG Hegde sir. And we had our session 6, where we had Dr. G.K. Kannadigas sir and our resource person, and we had session 7. And after a tea break, we started the valedictory session. The prayer song was offered by Srimati Srilata. Dr. Suresh, coordinator IKC, introduced our guests to the audience. We had feedback by 2 delegates about the conference. We have Dr. P. Kannan, Professor and Chairman, Department of PG Studies and Research at Kannadigas University in Jaipur, who summed up the whole conference of 2 days. I personally was amused by the pronunciation and delivery of the topic. Thank you, Kannan sir. This is my first experience listening to you. And we have Sri G.P. Hegde, retired professor, Joint Secretary, Amidst Society, chief guest, as a chief guest who showered the words of appreciation to the whole organizing team and introduced about the whole STM institution to the audience. We also felicitated Sri Sandeep Hegde, trustee on our foundation, and heard his inspiring words. Dr. D.L. Epsu, principal on our college, will preside over the function. And obviously, at this point, I should mention the name of Dr. M.G. Hegde, who is head Department of English, Esteem College, Honavar, and chairperson of English Forum, coordinator of the program, who will propose a vote of thanks after me. And at the conclusion, I should sum up with sharing, we had 28 presentations from delegates, students, and professionals, and the knowledge enhancement was distributed among 7 sessions. And at last, I'm very much grateful to the organizing committee and especially to Dr. M.G. Hegde sir for having trust on me and giving me this opportunity. Thank you so much. And I request all the audience, do kindly forgive me on any of my mistakes. This is my first experience as a rapporteur, and thank you so much for the opportunity.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for highlighting the outcome of conference. It is now my pleasure to invite our beloved principal, Dr. V.L. Habalsar, to deliver the presidential address.
Good evening, everyone. Presidential remark, I feel personally, is just to test the patience of the audience. I got such experience since I assumed as a principal from last October 30th. I feel so. Dignitaries, Honorable Valedictory Speaker Dr. P. Kannan sir, esteemed guests, retired Professor G.K. Hegde sir, Sandeep, our alumni, Dr. Suresh, Dr. M.J. Hegde, and M.K. Amri from English Club, from English Association from Kannadigas, here Srilata, and in front of the Kannadigas, Dr. Varghese sir, Professor Varghese sir, and Dr. Kalur sir, Chairman in Department of English from Kannadigas, Dr. Shivram Shastri, my old friend Professor Lokesh Hegde sir, and Dr. Dattu Kuchinar sir from DC College Ankola, and all my dear colleagues, students, invitees, guests, media people, and reporter. It is my privilege to preside over the valedictory session of the 2-day international conference on English language amidst Kannadigas. For the past 2 days, this conference has been a platform for rich discussions and meaningful exchange, shading the dynamics of interdisciplinary dynamics and interdisciplinary between English language and Kannada culture. As we conclude this significant event, I feel with a sense of accomplishment and gratitude. The
essence of this Kannada. The various technical sessions elaborated during these last 2 days, like history through the lens of English, English and a new vista, translation and transcription of English language, filling the diverse between English literates and illiterates, navigating regionality and modernity, and media and linguistic cauldron have offered a deep insight into how English bridges the cultural diversities, fosters innovation, and connects us with a global community. The active engagement of participants has underscored the relevance of this theme and reaffirmed the importance of such a dialogues in academia. This conference was historic for our institution, being the first international event from the arts stream organized in our college. It is a testament to the collective efforts of our dedicated faculty, led or headed by Dr. M.J. Hegde, HOD of English Department, and unflinching support of the management under the leadership of Sri Krishnamurti Bhatt Shivani, President of this organization. I take this moment to extend my heartfelt gratitude to the valedictory speaker, orator, Dr. Kannadigas, as he has addressed timely the various sessions and summarized the entire discussions held within 2 days. I thank our chief guest, Dr. Professor G.P. Hegde, and our student, Sandeep Hegde, for their gracious presence and spontaneous speech from this podium. I also thank P.R. Shleta, organizing secretary of this 2-day international conference. When she disordered in her absence because of some emergency, she went to her guest home. And a special thanks to the IPSC coordinator, Dr. Suresh also. The function reiterated, has highlighted because of another reason that 2 eminent professors, retired professors, Professor S. N. Hegde and Dr. S. S. Hegde, yesterday was honored here, which is a heartwarming event of this conference. It reminded us of ending legacy of educators who have shaped genres of learners, including myself. As we look to the future, let us carry forward insights gained from this 2-day conference. Let us continue to explore how language can be a tool for unity and growth while celebrating the richness of native culture. I am confident that seeds sown during these 2-day events will inspire further research, collaborations, and innovations in the years to come. On behalf of our college and the MP Society, I once again thank each one of you, particularly delegates, participants, supporters, chairpersons, resource persons, for your contribution to this milestone event held over these 2 days. May we all continue to work together to build the bridges of understanding and knowledge sharing through such initiatives. Thank you one and all, and I wish all the success in your endeavor. I also expect many such conferences will be organized from other departments also. This would be a milestone. English international seminar would be a milestone from the arts team. Followed by, I think, the science people are very eager to host again international press conference in the days to
come, and commerce people are also far ahead of the opportunity, and newly started MCA and BCA people would also like to grab this opportunity. I wish all of you a wonderful recipe. Please note that during these 2 days you enjoyed a lot in our campus. Carry all these good things, good waves from this place. If anything inconvenience happened, forget here only, and you are free to express with me also. Thank you, and all.
Thank you, sir, for your presentation remarks. I request Dr. Swarna Gant, Head of the Department of Hindi, to present the mementos to the dignitaries on the day. I request Ma'am to present the memento to Dr. P. Kannan, Professor, Chairman, Department of Teaching Studies and Research, Department. I request Ma'am to present the memento to Sri G.P. Hegde, Joint Secretary and Peace Society, Honnavar. I request Ma'am to present the memento to Dr. M.K. Angadi, Treasurer, Kannadigas University Academic Forum of English Teachers. I request Ma'am to present memento to our beloved Principal, Dr. D.L. Hebbar. I request Ma'am to present the memento. Thank you, ma'am. May I now request Dr. M.G. Hegde? May I now request Dr. M.G. Hegde, Coordinator of Conference, to present mementos to conveners of the various committees formed for the smooth conduct of this 2-day international conference. Okay, I request Dr. D.L. Hebbar, sir, to accompany the coordinator of the conference, Dr. M.G. Hegde. All the conveners are requested to come on the stage along with the members of the committee to receive the token of appreciation. I request Mrs. Pallavi Kamath, convener of Technical Advisory Committee, to come on stage along with her team. I request Professor Nagaraj Hegde, convener of Invitation Photo and Publicity Committee, to come along with the stage. I request Dr. G.N. Bhatt, convener of the Accommodation Committee, to come along with the stage members. I request Sri N.G. Ananthamurthy, convener of Cultural and Program Committee, to come on the stage. I request Dr. Amidst, convener of Food and Hospitality Committee, to come on the stage. I request Office Superintendent Radha sir to come and present the office. I request all the office members to join Radha sir. Thank you. To conclude this memorable event, I invite Dr. F.G. Hegde, the coordinator of this program, to express the sincere gratitude to all the people who have made this program a grand success.
Good evening, everybody. You all said that you are all filled with happiness, and I don't want to spoil your memory with my lengthy speech. Keeping in mind time restraint, I have to say something. I have cut down. Sorry, I had to cut down the speeches also here because of the time limit. First, I'm very sorry, Dr. Kannan, because I had to cut down his full flow of speech. And also, I had to cut down the speech of the reporter. She had prepared the speech very meticulously for the last 2 days. And because of time constraint, I had to do like that. First of all, I would like to thank Dr. P. Kannan for his wonderful valedictory speech. He has come all the way from Bijapur and from Mysore he has come, and he has to go now to Bijapur, and he has given a wonderful speech. He stayed with us for the last 2 days. He, he tolerated all the things, all the speeches and everything here. I don't know whether it was good or bad. He said only the good things. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. I thank our own man, the Joint Secretary of MP Society, and also the retired professor of this SDM college, Professor G.P. Hegde, for his wonderful speech. Actually, he has given another insight, and he has taken to the discussion to, I think, to another side. Okay, and actually, his speech was thought-provoking, and because of him, now we can arrange some more such conferences. Okay, thank you very much, sir. I thank a student of this SDM college, Sandeep Hegde. He is a BE graduate, entrepreneur, moreover an environmentalist. He is instrumental in preserving the nature around. He is an activist also. Okay. He has wonderful work in preserving the sea turtle. I Association of Kannadigas University. I thank you, sir. I thank my best friend and the principal of this college for his support, Dr. D.L. Kappa. I thank my good friend and also the IPSC coordinator, Dr. Suresh S. They supported like anything. I have to thank my own department, my departmental colleagues. Professor K.R. Shilata is here. Professor Valencia, due to some unavoidable reasons, she couldn't attend the function today. I thank them, both of them, for their very good support. And then I thank all my colleagues. Actually, I'd like to say today I tested my BP in the morning. But the BP was very normal. It was because of the wonderful support of my colleagues. I didn't have any tension. They did every work. So easily the work was done. The conference was conducted very successfully because of the active support of all my colleagues. Okay. All the departments, especially the technical committee, they did a wonderful job. I gave them many tortures, but they didn't say anything. They supported me, and other committees also, committee members also, other lecturers, non-teaching staff, everybody, in Kannada department, So they consider this program as their program. And also, every committee, I don't mention any names here. Initiation committee, accommodation committee, food committee, and the master of ceremony here, non-teaching staff, attenders. So they did wonderful job. I didn't do anything actually. I am just a puppet here, and it is done by, really done by our management. First of all, management. They did the every work. So they supported me like anything. When I proposed about this conference, when I became the president of the English Forum, Brigadier was also there at that time. I told them, I asked the management, if they said yes, I will continue. First I got their permission. Then in the executive committee, I got the permission of the forum, academic forum. Then I approached the management and they readily accepted my proposal. Immediately they said yes. Yesterday, my friend, Gaurav madam, she told me like this. I couldn't believe that they were management members. She said like this because they are so friendly, they are so supportive. And I said that we are all united here. We are floating together. I am sure that we don't drown together. We don't drown at all because we are together, unitedly we are floating and we will be successful in our endeavors because of the management, because of the principal. They have sponsored food. So see, every support, the management gives every support, not only to me, to all departments, to everybody here, right? They have that experience. So, they deserve the thanks.
they agreed to come. The resource persons, the chairpersons, my friend Kalu is here, my classmate. All these chairpersons, resource persons, they agreed. My invitation, they came over here. They stayed for 2 days. I have to mention Dr. M.G. my guide, my teacher. He started the function with the band. Okay. I told him to inaugurate the event and it should be academic inauguration, I told him. You know, because of the absence of one person, the light was not lighted here. The lamp was not lighted. Okay? But we had the academic inauguration. We had the academic inauguration and we did it successfully. So, Dr. MGA deserves our thanks. And afterwards, all the resource persons, other resource persons, there are many, I don't mention all the names, chairpersons, my colleagues, because of the active support of the academic forum of English teachers, the Kannadigas University Academic Forum of English Teachers, because of their active support, it will be successful. They have come in large numbers. They supported us like anything. So I thank our own association. I thank all my students. They also supported in every way. They supported. They presented the papers. There were many actually to present the papers. We said no, it's enough. Otherwise, there would have been many more numbers. There would have been in more numbers. Okay, so everybody supported us. Please take the good memory from here. I don't say that it is perfect. We did everything. There was scarcity, I know very well. If you faced any inconvenience, please tell me. Please take only the good memories as the principal said. Okay. I thank everybody. Thank you. One and all.
Thank you, sir, for expressing your gratitude, and we thank you also for taking initiative for organizing such a wonderful conference. On behalf of Organization Committee, it is my pleasure to announce the successful conclusion of this two-day international conference on English language and Kannadigas. Thank you all.